Blake Harrell is the new. You're not even the new head coach anymore. It's like you don't even have the new car smell. Blake Harrell, the head coach at East Carolina, has to feel new, though, doesn't it?
It feels good. Is what it feels. It's a privilege and an honor to be the head football coach here at East Carolina, and an honor I cherish every minute of the day. And right now, as you said, it doesn't feel new because it's go go go. Whether you're working on recruiting, putting your staff together, or preparing for a bowl game, there's a lot to get done in a day.
As a local guy, you know what this position means to the people of Greenville. I mean, not from Greenville, but you know what this position means to fans and the community and how important this program is?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the state of North Carolina. I was a high school coach in the state of North Carolina. I was actually in the Wake County area at one time and got my first defensive coordinator job in Wake County. But I've always grown up in the state, had a lot of respect for East Carolina, and then living here for the last 5 years, definitely understand the pride in the 252 and Eastern North Carolina and what East Carolina not only means to Greenville, but to this area, and how much different it is when you have winning football and the football program is playing well, and just what that means to our stadium and our town and our community, and it can be a big part of that.
Yeah, it stretches. I would say that East Carolina football territory stretches almost all the way to where I am right now in Raleigh, and it goes all the way to the coast. I mean, you get half the state just about that are, I mean, absolutely dialed in to what's going on at Dowdy-Ficklin, and it's been a minute since the Pirates have been what they were used to being, which is, one of those teams. Oh, we don't want to play them. How do you get it back?
Well, it's like you said, east of 95, there sure is a lot of purple and gold, and that's a great feeling. And won 7 games this year and finished off the season 4-1. Almost had a chance to be 5-0. Made a few mistakes in the last ball game, but that's the same type of momentum we got to take in the next season. And our goal is not just to get to a bowl game. Our goal is conference championships and play the best football we can play. And obviously, if you go win a conference championship in the American Conference, you're going to have an opportunity to possibly be in the playoff hunt too. It's just the American Conference is one of the top G5 conferences in the country, and you're going to be ranked pretty high and in the top 25, and have a chance to be that top G5 ranking and make a playoff. But it all starts not with the outcome; it starts in the process. So we got to focus on the process, and right now the process is building a roster for 2025, building the staff for 2025, as well as retention of our players. So a lot going on right now, and the process is going to determine the outcome and getting back to the pride of East Carolina and packing out Dowdy-Ficklin and putting us back on the map where we should be.
Blake Harrell is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. You led me into what I wanted to ask you about anyway. In the changing landscape of the sport, and we can get to the mechanics of roster building and all of that in a minute. But the fact that now, in the current playoff climate, if you win the American, you've got a legit chance to be in the playoff. How does that change? How does that change the way you view your non-conference schedule and all of that?
Yeah, I mean, fortunately or unfortunately, we have 2 Power 4 teams next year. We got NC State and BYU, and it used to be like, hey, you want to schedule as many of those guys as possible, and go take a shot at them, and go have some real rivalries within the area of Greenville. Of East Carolina, and whether you play in NC State, North Carolina, Virginia Tech, South Carolina, within that region. But now you got to also be smart about your scheduling, because it's about winning games and about your ranking, and obviously you got to go take care of business in the conference. But I think take Boise State for instance, their non-conference slate. They went 3-1. Their one loss being to Oregon. And then went and ran the table in the conference, and they're ending up not only in the playoff, but they're ending up with a first round bye. I mean, and you look at their schedule; it's a pretty good schedule of their opponents and what they got. Road to get to the Final Four as well. So, and that's the same. You can't really focus on the end process, the end outcome. You got to focus on the process. And right now it's NC State in the bowl game. Then game one next year it'll be NC State, and then Campbell after that, Coastal Carolina, then BYU at home. So, and then our conference is tough. I mean, you got Memphis, who was spending a ton of money. Tulane's a good football program right now, and some others that are doing a heck of a job. So it's a tough conference.
Well, let me get to the mechanics of how you build a roster going forward. And I spoke with Dowell Loggins, who's the new coach at App. And he's talking, and like I asked him about it, and he goes, I have this spreadsheet in front of me with NIL money and where we're allocating it. How professional like is it, do you think?
It's very much NFL model based to me. I just hired a general manager. He'll actually first day on the job will be tomorrow, and I'm going to turn all that collective NIL money over to him and tell him to deal with it. But I don't want our players to come and see the head coach for that, or our incoming players. I want them to go see the GM, just like the NFL. Because to me, as soon as you do it, you're dealing with the dollars as the head coach, and you're overseeing that aspect of it or have any hand in it. It kind of takes the coach-player relationship out of it, and I want to make sure we keep that. We keep that part of it pure. And much like the NFL, hey, you go see the front office for those type of things, and the head coach is coaching football and taking care of the football side of things.
How much of your roster building will be, high school recruiting, and how much will be portal?
Yeah, we signed about we signed 18 high school kids. We got two other guys will be here as well, so 20 high school kids, and I'm expecting to have about 20 new portal kids as well. So about half and half, and I think that's what you got to do. Like, you're going to lose some older guys, and some of those guys. I think we got 18 guys in the portal right now. Four of them started and played for us. Three of them started and played a lot. One of them played a lot. So everybody looks at the numbers like, oh, they lost 18 guys. Well, some of those guys are going in looking for other opportunities, places they can get on the field and do a better job of contributing and being productive. Some of those guys are just kind of the bottom of your roster or wasn't being productive, and you just kind of had to move on from them. So, and that's where you got to constantly be pushing forward with your roster to improve it, to make it better in all aspects. And obviously, we'd like to hold on those 4 kids, but if we're losing guys to a program that can pay them a lot more money, or we lose a coach that can pay them a lot more money, you're probably doing something right. I mean, if you're losing nobody, you're probably doing something wrong, and something's got to be an issue. But if you're losing a couple guys a year to a better program that can pay them a lot more money, you feel like you're doing something right. I don't think we're going to see the loyalty and guys staying around for 5 years in one program. That may be a thing of the past. And if you think about it, we don't see NFL players staying with one organization for their whole career anymore. We used to see that all the time when we were kids, and now there'll be a couple years here, then a couple years there, and they're bouncing around from place to place. So I think that's going to come to norm in college football as well.
When we were kids, you're significantly younger than I am. You're like a kid. Blake Harrell, the head coach at East Carolina, joining us because Mike Houston, was obviously instrumental in you getting to East Carolina. Has it made the transition more difficult? How has that gone for you? Because obviously you feel bad that it didn't work out for Mike, and you get a great opportunity as a result. But how does that work?
Yeah, I owe Coach Houston everything. I would not be at East Carolina and not have had the opportunity here if it wasn't for him and his mentorship and everything he's meant to me, and just a friendship that he's had. And I said from day one, like, this thing might be easier if I was going somewhere else to start my own program somewhere else. I may have a lot of similarities to what Coach Houston did, or then you're hiring your staff, and you're not having to make decisions of the current staff. And that's kind of just the little things we got to navigate through and restructure some things and move guys around, or move on from, whatever it may be. But at the same time, we got to make sure we're setting ourselves up for success in the future. And it's got to be Blake Harrell's team, Blake Harrell's identity. I say that and very carefully. I always want it to be about us, never me or I.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm got to be the one in charge and one responsible for it. But I want it to be our team and East Carolina's team, and something Pirate Nation can be proud of.
So you open next season with NC State. You close this season with NC State in the Military Bowl. First of all, Annapolis is just a gorgeous spot. Great spot for a bowl game. What are your thoughts on the bowl game and it being a rivalry game?
Yeah, I mean, fired up to be back in a bowl game, being in Annapolis, a Military Bowl, which they treat you right up there. They do a great job. Mm-hmm. It's a 28, 5:45 ESPN game, so the game of the night, and to be playing a rivalry up the road, hour and 15, hour and a half up the road, is pretty cool, pretty special. A lot of our players know a lot of the players on that roster, and vice versa. And our fans are neighbors with NC State fans, and vice versa. So there's a lot of similarities within the two programs, but a lot of rivalry within the two programs. And we're just fired up to go play another football game and have another opportunity to play. And getting to play against NC State makes it special as well.
So just a big picture, because it might not have impacted your program as much as maybe some others. I mean, I'll use an example of Duke. Duke has two quarterbacks. They're both in the portal. Duke's going to play a bowl game. No idea who's going to be their quarterback. They might call me. That would be a bad idea, but I don't know who's left. With the portal and the bowl season, that just doesn't seem like a tenable, calendar, an ideal calendar makeup to me.
There's no question. We don't have free agency in NFL during the playoffs, do we? So the fact we're having it in college football is just asinine. But I'm not sure how many people are out there listening to me, but we got to somehow get that curved and fixed and figured out. I don't know if it should be contracts in college football. If we should, move our portal windows. It seems like every 6 months we make rules changes, and then we figure out 6 months later that was a bad rule change or a bad adjustment, and then we got to try to fix it back. I wish we'd just sit back and let it be for a couple of years, and then figure out exactly the direction we need to go with it. But some of that the court systems regulating and dealing with, and everybody's afraid of lawsuits. But we wish we had a commissioner of college football, and we'd start doing it one way and go through it that way. But maybe one day we'll get there.
All right, final question for you, and this is very, very serious. Are you a real or an artificial Christmas tree person?
Well, I love the smell and the look of a real tree. It's just a lot of cleanup. So we got 2 artificial trees in our house right now. I honestly have no say in that. My wife does all that. She takes care of the decorating, putting it up, taking it down, and she is awesome. She's the head coach at home. So whatever she's happy with, I better be happy with.
She's the head coach at home. Does she have a headset?
Well, no, she don't need a headset. She just yells at me.
Congratulations on the gig. Good luck against NC State on the 28th, and we will talk to you very soon. Coach Blake Harrell at East Carolina. Thanks.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me on. Merry Christmas.
He was good. Hope he does very well.
It's just like Rod, too. He doesn't have any say in it. It's like whatever the wife wants. It's smart. I mean, that's smart. That's a good approach.
I mean, I can relate.